Hi, I'm Raylene, and welcome to Khaleesi Clues. This video may contain spoilers for those who are not familiar with the current and past HBO series House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, along with the fact that I may refer to any of the books by George R.R. Martin from the A Song of Ice and Fire novel series. In my last video titled Daemon Targaryen or Demon Targaryen, I raised the question of whether or not Daemon actually died in Episode 3 during the cave fight with Craghas Drahar. Please understand, I am referring to a symbolic type death, kind of the same type of death referenced by Mira Reed towards Brandon Stark when she noticed how drastic his personality had changed once they escaped the cave where he was being trained to become the Three-Eyed Raven. What I believe may have happened to Daemon is that whatever was inside the cave, or even Craghas himself, could now be inside Daemon. We all know Daemon is physically alive, but is there a force or a possible powerful warg that has taken control of his body? Very similar to how we watched Brandon Stark warg into Hodor and took over his body in order to fight off skeletal remains at the cave entrance, or possibly even forcing Hodor to hold the door so that Bran and Mira could escape. In the books, Hodor fights Bran from entering his body. It's as if it is an invasion of Hodor's body. If I remember right, Bran can even taste vomit because Hodor is so upset by the event, and it shows how his body is literally trying to purge Bran out. Eventually, Bran is too strong for Hodor to fight off and retreats deep within his body, so deep that Bran cannot touch him. When you think of how Hodor must have felt, this is someone entering his body forcefully and continually without permission or invitation. It just seems like such a brutal and abusive violation. Could this same type of body takeover be happening to Daemon? The difference being that Bran only stayed inside Hodor for different periods of time. In Daemon's case, this would be like a permanent body takeover. Just the same as Varamir Sixskins tried to take the body of Thistle, but he was not strong enough, and when she was able to reject him out of her body. Varamir was weak at the time that he attempted to take over Thistle's body. He had been wounded at the battle at the wall. The same can be said of Daemon. He was injured prior to entering that cave. I can definitely see the similarities, but I'm still not 100% convinced, so I will continue watching and looking for more clues. Episode 5 starts with the introduction of Daemon's current wife, Rhea Royce, as she is traveling on horseback down a trail at the Vale, where she just so happens to come across a poker-faced Daemon in the middle of nowhere. Now, let me just stop right here, because this whole situation is very strange to me. Number one, he's cloaked again, and he's back to not speaking a word. What exactly are we dealing with here? She continues to verbally provoke him with insults, yet he doesn't say anything and continues to slowly approach her and her horse. He doesn't seem to be the type of man to stay silent to these type of comments, yet he does. He just pauses, stares at her with no expression, and takes it all in. Number 2, how exactly did he know that she would be on that exact path, on that exact day and moment, in order to confront her alone? Once she mentions Rhaenyra to Daemon, he begins to slowly move towards her again, and this time he's holding out his hand as if he is slowly reaching for the horse. Once Rhea Royce asks if he will strike the child down, which she is referring to baby Aegon at this point, that is when she becomes silent. It definitely makes me wonder what went through her thoughts at that given moment. One thing is for sure, she now realizes that she needs to kill Daemon. It's a little too late for that realization though, because before she can get that bow out, the horse not only rears up, but literally flips all the way over, landing on top of her. Now, I have slowed that video down as much as I possibly could, and from what it looks like, in my opinion, is that his arm is raised and then comes down as if in unison with that horse. Could he have possibly controlled that horse with some type of power by whatever may be inside of him? I think he may have done exactly that. As we see the horse run away, Daemon continues to approach Rhea. He's still completely silent and has a very strange look upon his face. Then we see him, strangely, step on her arm, like a predator toying with its prey, before he slowly turns to walk away. I believe he did this to make sure her arm was of no use to her, because he does not want to get shot in the back by her arrow as he goes to collect a rock to finish off the job. Now, the next time we see Daemon in this episode is at the dinner celebration on the wedding night for Rhaenyra and Lenore. The recently widowed Daemon comes walking right in, almost skipping down the aisle, and stands in front of his now completely confused brother with his goofy Cheshire cat smile on his face. The king is looking at him like, what am I going to do with this guy? And then waves his hands to a server and just puts him over in the corner seat. Daemon's poker face is completely gone, and I don't believe I've ever seen him happier. Rhea Royce's cousin, Gerald, decides it's a good time to confront Daemon, and we actually hear the first words that he speaks for the episode. Those first words that he speaks are, "Who are you?" That's exactly what I want to know, Daemon. Exactly who are you? Are you still Daemon Targaryen, or a cloaked demon disguised with Daemon's body? I did not see Daemon eat or drink anything while he was at the table. That reminded me of how Melisandre, who is another cloaked character that is not exactly what she appears to be, has to remind herself to eat and drink. It's as if whatever Melisandre is, drinking, eating, and even poison does not seem to affect her physical body the same as humans. Daemon leaves the table and walks onto the dance floor. The first time I watched this, I thought he was possibly following Laena, but on second watch, I noticed that he wasn't physically responding to Laena as she was flirting and dancing on the dance floor. It seemed as if he was following and standing by Lenore and Joffrey, as if he was possibly using Laena as a cover for him to listen to their conversation. Then he beelines it to Rhaenyra, where they then have their intense conversation in High Valyrian, where she tells him to cut through my father's Kingsguard, followed by take me to Dragonstone and make me your wife. They are face to face, and it looks as if they are going to kiss, but the view is blocked by the people dancing. You can still see the top of Daemon's head, and then the screams begin, followed by mass chaos, as we now can see Sir Criston has absolutely lost his mind and is fighting with Joffrey. Similarly to Lady Rhea Royce's death, we see a reference to Joffrey's arm as Criston breaks the arm that is holding the knife, and then continues to batter his face until it is crushed. How coincidental it is that Lady Rhea Royce's neck and head were reportedly crushed too. As Criston begins coming out of his rage, he paws at the lifeless face of Joffrey, just like a predator toying with its prey, checking to see if any life is left. By any chance, did anyone else wonder exactly where did Daemon go? 1 minute, he is not even an inch away from Rhaenyra, and then he is absolutely nowhere to be found. We don't see him or even hear his name mentioned for the rest of the episode. There has to be a reason for him at least not getting Rhaenyra off the floor when all of the screaming started. One last thing I would like to talk about is something I had forgot to mention that King Viserys had said to Alicent back in episode 3, titled Second of His Name. It was the conversation that took place right after Rhaenyra had killed the boar. Alicent asked King Viserys, "Is everything all right, Your Grace?" The king answered, "You know, I named her to protect the realm from Daemon." As the conversation continues, he talks about how he believed he had a prophetic dream that a male babe was born to him, wearing the conqueror's crown. King Viserys at this time is doubting that he is a true dreamer, that he has the power of prophetic dreams, when in all reality, it was a prophetic dream. He was seeing the eventual birth of Jon Snow, the future Aegon, who would be symbolically born with a crown because most likely Rhaegar will probably already be dead. King Viserys just didn't understand his dream correctly. He believes the dream is of his child, but it was actually of his future blood descendant and heir, the prince that was promised, Jon Snow. Now, knowing that he has this ability of prophetic dreams makes me wonder, why would the realm need to be protected from Daemon? What exactly did King Viserys' dream reveal to him about Daemon? That concludes all of the possible clues that Episode 5 covered for Daemon. As for me, I'm still not absolutely convinced either way for Daemon. I will continue to watch for clues that point either way, but his scenes have been pretty one-sided. It's not looking too good for Daemon. I'm also worried that he may have something to do with his future wife, Laena's death. We will have to wait and see how the next episodes unfold, and I will continue to keep looking for more clues. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you would like to show your support, please hit the like button or subscribe to my channel for future videos. Thank you so much for listening, and have a wonderful day.